Technopoly 411. I'm Nick Watts here, and with me today I have another special guest with over 13 years in the video production industry, currently an instructor and a freelance videographer, Mr. Ross Headley. Ross, thanks for coming on the show.
Sure.
So today you brought a special toy. That's the new Panasonic camera, huh?
Yep, that's what this camera is laying before me.
Yes, the AG AF-100. Now, from what I understand, this is not just anybody's camera. You're not going to take this to the soccer game. You're not going to just, haul it everywhere you go. It's a little more work than that, right?
I mean, it's definitely purpose-built for kind of a different market. It's not necessarily a strict consumer camera. It does have a little more, it's a little more purpose-built for kind of the working professional or the aspiring professional. So,
yeah,
sure.
And you can usually tell. I mean, it's got XLR inputs. It's got dual SD card slots. Is that an SDI slot there?
Yep, SDI out.
Fantastic. So where are they? You said aspiring professional. Are you talking like filmmakers, or like is this a red camera? Or?
No, I mean in general it is a little more of a city style camera in terms of its market. It's designed for those lower budget filmmakers or those starting out filmmakers, or if you are a professional, maybe a cine style camera that isn't can be put in harm's way because it's not as expensive as some of the ones. Right. But it does has some similar performance traits as some of the higher end cameras. So that's where it would potentially work its way in.
Very strange body style, I recognize too. I mean, it's handheld, but very short. Of course, the interchangeable lens is a big push for camera of this style. Looks like it's got some programmable buttons there. What more can you tell me about it? I mean, it's a decent looking camera.
Yeah, I mean, it really is kind of a brainchild of this phenomenon of digital SLR video making, right? Where you have kind of a digital still camera that can actually shoot video, high-def video, and it's been something that's kind of just exploded within the last 5 years. It was something that didn't really exist in terms of having these relatively inexpensive cameras that have similar optical properties and advantages, not unlike professional high-end film cameras, motion picture film cameras. So this kind of mix of really low-tech, or not low-tech, but low price point still cameras, being able to provide images that are comparable in some different areas, especially in terms of imagery size, in terms of optics. We start talking about being able to control your depth of field a lot more precisely, right? Having a much more shallower depth of field. Your kind of larger imager still cameras are able to do this, right? Because they're pretty much purpose-built to match 35 still cameras, right? So the fact that the moment that all of a sudden they can shoot video, then it was like, oh wow, this is kind of new. Most video cameras that were not motion picture film cameras tended to have much smaller imagers, and as a result, would tend to have greater depth of field. It was harder to create shadow depth of field shots. So inherently, there was that kind of look difference between video cameras and film cameras, and this kind of new large chip imager discovery really started kind of blurring the divide between those two. And this camera really is kind of the next step. It's actually taking something that was people just playing with, which were still cameras, and trying to use them to try to create a look. And this is a camera that's actually taking that technology and really trying to marry it to an actual video technology, as opposed to a still camera that can shoot video. It's now kind of a video camera
with still lenses.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Put still lenses on.
Because I've heard a lot of people, and I've seen some pretty decent research out there comparing like the video out of the 5D Mark II to some video that can be shot on film. And just some of the directors and some of the cinematographers I've seen are saying that they actually like the low light quality of those digital SLR sensors a little better than some of the film, but it's not quite the range.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of the physics, film still is significantly better at handling larger range of contrast. Some of these video cameras can shoot in really low light situations, but if you're in a low light situation, you can't have anything really bright at the same time because the imager can't handle that ratio, the difference between extremes, dark and light. film still largely is superior at being able to see light and dark things at the same time, expose universally at the same time. And again, video technologies are getting better. There are some cameras where they're incorporating HDR technologies into the video cameras.
Actually,
that are kind of extending that. It's kind of a new way to kind of combat that issue.
Right. I actually happened to have my hands on a Red Scarlet earlier today, and they showed me that HDR mode. Just the fact that he was recording 5K resolution at 120 frames a second, you know, double exposing 2 different aperture sizes, just. But anyways, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time. This looks like a great camera. Right now it's listing for a little under $5,000. So what do you think? At $5,000, if you had to rate it on a scale of 5, we call this the gadget gopher segment. How many gophers would you give this camera?
Wait, what was the range?
5 is the best.
5 is the best. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, and I'm not one to give really easy answers. I would say, from a budgetary standpoint, kind of this camera is would be going up towards the 5 with its capabilities versus its price point. A lot of cameras that do similar things are going to be at least twice as much, easily, rather than if not 3 times as much. You're talking about comparable video film style cameras that have the large imager chip and kind of interchangeable lenses, this kind of setup. Some people may argue that it doesn't perform as well, but I'd say that if you really are kind of into that low budget vein, right, if you really are interested in saving some money but still wanting to play with a camera that actually can do some pretty good things, this is definitely that camera that will rate high, so that is good.
Great. Well, thanks, Ross. We appreciate your time. Thanks for being on the show. And guys, stick around. We got a big month coming up for you. A lot of great things to see right here on Technopoly 411.